Hey YouTube, Scrimscar11. This is going to be an updated Nordic deck profile. I switched up a couple things, and I'm also testing Photon Saber Tiger. So I'm just going to go through and explain everything, why I switched what I did. But the deck is it still runs really good. I've noticed some of the problems the deck has, like after play testing it more. But I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So, still play 3 of the Black Goat, because it is pretty much the main, you only play like 7 Nordic monsters, and it's the main Nordic engine, I guess you could call it. And then you play 3 Goldfax, which is absolutely the worst monster in this entire deck. The only thing it's good for outside of synchroing is creature swap, and you're ideally going to swap for something like a Thunder King, but it's kind of garbage by itself. It's a tuner, so that makes up for it, but the actual card itself is pretty crappy. 1 of the White Goat, I haven't bumped it up anymore because I really don't think maining anymore would benefit me at all, because if I need a level 3, I play Photon Saber Tiger, which I'm just going to start talking about that. I dropped Tengu for Photon Saber Tiger just because I wanted to test having another level 3 target. It makes Thor access significantly easier, because to make Thor, all you really need is Photon Saber Tiger, and then either him or a Gleipnir in hand, and you have instant Thor. And it's kind of like, it's a gadget type monster, which, if you guys have followed me at all, you know that one of the first decks I played was gadgets, so it's kind of familiar to me. And then I bumped up Thunder King to 3. I know in the last one I was talking about how I wanted to, and I decided it was a really good idea to try and main another Thunder King. It just adds to the stun element of the deck, which is really needed, I would say. So yeah, I just decided to bump Thunder King up to 3, and then still 2 Max C, 2 regular, sorry for the glare, and then Gores. I'm very happy with the monster lineup. I'm not sure that I would really want to change anything. I may go back to Tengu, but it's really, really unlikely. The only thing I don't like about Photon Saber Tiger is it gets entirely shut down by Thunder King. But this deck loses to Thunder King anyways, so yeah, it's not like it makes it any worse. It doesn't like outright lose to Thunder King. You play creature swaps, Dark Hole, compulsories, Fiendish Chain, things like that to help combat that. So you can play out a Thunder King, it's just really, really sucks. Alright, so the spell lineup is still 2 dualities. I wouldn't try and play a 3rd one, honestly, just because the sheer amount of special summoning that this deck does. Like, if you're just looking at the deck and you've never played it before, it doesn't look like it special summons that much, but considering the main play of the deck is Tanyasner into Goldfax and then Synchro, you don't really want to play another one of those, because I've had opportunities to duality, but then it was going to shut down my play for the entire turn, so I was just like, I'll just keep it at 2. 2 main MST, doesn't really need much to be said about it. 2 creature swaps, it's still those guys right there are going to be your main targets, so and you can also creature swap Photon Saber Tiger, just because he's so tiny. If you guys don't know what Photon Saber Tiger does, it's when this card is normal summoned, what does it say? It says, when this card is normal or flip summoned, you can add 1 Photon Saber Tiger from your deck to your hand. If you do not control another Photon Saber Tiger, this card loses 800 attack, so it goes from 2,000 attack to 1,200. So you can, basically these are going to be your main creature swap targets. So, and you can always, I don't know, like summon 2 Photon Saber Tigers and then Exceed into Leviathan or Zenmains. But yeah, those are basically your creature swap targets. And then the one-ofs is Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Pot of Avarice, Mind Control, and Heavy Storm. Those don't really need much explaining. Pot of Avarice is way too clutch in this deck. You go through monsters like it's nobody's business with the 4 hand traps there, and then the Saber Tigers, and then these 2 guys, you will run through monsters like you wouldn't believe. Alright, so the traps is 3 Gleipnir, just because it's amazing, and that whole, when they attack a monster, you chain Gleipnir, get this thing to your hand, and then special summon it when it dies. I've never seen it work better than with Photon Saber Tiger, because you're going to instantly make a Thor. So, yeah. And then 2 Warning, because it's Solemn Warning, why would you not play it? 2-Dimensional Prism, just because it's still amazing. And then, if you notice, I entirely dropped Horn of the Phantom Beast. When I first made this version of the deck, when I was playing Photon Saber Tiger, like, I didn't post a video about it, but, I was only playing 2 Horn of the Phantom Beast, and I still never saw it. Like, I want to say I played something close to 20 games with Horn of the Phantom Beast in my deck, like, just in general, and I saw it, like, once or twice, so I just decided that card doesn't like me in this deck and to drop it. So, the one-ofs are Torrential, Compulse, Solemn Judgment, Fiendish Chain, and Trap Dust Shoot. Fiendish Chain is really good. Like, you don't really have to explain why it's good. Alright, so then the extra deck, if you can't tell, is clearly more than 15 cards. This is just everything that I have considered playing in the extra deck. I don't really know what I would cut, honestly, because I think it's like 18 or 19 cards. But I'll just go ahead and you guys can see everything. So Catastor, Librarian, Brio, Gaia Knight, Orient, Ancient Fairy, 2 Black Rose, I'm sorry, that's Ancient Sacred Wyvern, that was Ancient Fairy. Scrap Archfiend, Scrap Dragon, Stardust, Trish, Thor, Leviathan Dragon, Roach, Utopia, and Chimera Type. And then these are the 2 White Goat tokens that I made. They're hollow and whatever. So anyways, yeah, that's a thing. Those are kind of cool. But anyways, I've been like trying to like watch people's videos about their Nordic deck, and of course it's not a widely played deck, so it doesn't have a lot of stuff out there about it. But I see people playing like multiple gods, like 2 Thor, 2 Odin, and I don't even play Vanadis because that card is kind of crap. I'm just playing like the basic Nordic stuff. But I don't see how they have room, because I don't even know what I would cut out of mine. Like, I guess if I had to cut something, I would probably cut Roach, because I never really make him. And I could cut Ancient Fairy Dragon and Gaia Knight, probably. I don't know if I would need to cut one more. I guess if I had to cut one more card, even though it might bring me down to 14, I don't know, I haven't counted. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright, so, yeah, I'd have to cut 3 cards. I'd probably cut Ancient Fairy, Roach, and Gaia Knight, or something along the lines of that. But anyways, like what I do when I build a deck, and I know for a fact I'm not the only person that does this, I put a whole bunch of stuff in my extra deck, and then cut the stuff that I don't ever use, so it kind of helps you see what you make the most. Like, if you notice from last time, I added in Scrap Archfiend and another Black Rose. And I added in Scrap Archfiend because the deck makes level 7s a lot, and I didn't really have a beat stick to summon. All I ever had was High Defense, Ancient Sacred Wyvern, which isn't always good because you may have paid for Warning or something early game, and he's going to be like 100 attack if you did that. And then 2 Black Rose, and you're not always going to want to just nuke the field for no reason. So just having the access to a 2700 beat stick is never a bad thing, so I added that in. So, I mean, that's just kind of my process behind making an extra deck, and I know I'm not the only person that does that. It's just, if you have never heard of that before, you should try it, because it's really good. As far as side decking goes for this deck, I'm working on the side deck. It's still a work in progress, because I'm taking a lot of things into consideration when building it. This deck doesn't seem to have good matchup against, windups, which everything is going to have a bad matchup against. That's mainly what 2 Maxi and 2 Valor are made for, to try and make game 1 against windups suck less. And then as far as Inzectors go, those are to help that matchup as well, but probably going to have to do something like side Macrocosmos. But I'm just trying to take all that into consideration and fit everything. It wouldn't even be worth showing you guys the side deck, to be honest. So yeah, this is my updated Nordic deck. I'm still playing around with it, and I'm sure I'll update it again, but for now this is what I'm working with. So if anybody has any questions or comments or suggestions, any of that garbage, just leave me a comment, send me a PM or whatever. But until next time, I'll see you guys.